And welcome back to Applied Griffins. I'm Taro, and today we are doing some more Interstellar Rift. Now today I have gotten, or I created a new survival game, survival world I should say. So this is just a single player, but it's survival, so you gotta actually, you can't just like build ships and so on, you gotta actually get the resources for it. So today I'm going to go through some of the basics. Last time I kind of showed a little bit of the design. I showed you how to make a ship, and just some of the really basic things. Today I am going to show you. I made this little ship here, nothing fancy. It's you can see that it's like 48K, so it's kind of small. Nothing important to note, obviously, always, is max speeds 138, which is alright. Turn rate 0.76. You kind of want it between 0.7 and 1, somewhere in that range. And one thing I'm not quite completely sure about, if you look at the power, I suppose that's fine. Peak consumption is 2000, generation is 2445, so I guess it should be relatively good on power. We'll have to test it to find out. As you can see, I've put some floors and walls, and I've actually put ceilings down, and I've got some batteries, some generators. I've got a little redundant. I made 2 power rooms, but these are the new. For the hydrogen storage, there used to only be 2 options: a small, which was this little guy. Looks something like that. Well, actually, it looked different before. Now they all have these little ports in the front, so you can actually load them up. We now get this medium one, which is this one here, like you see there. We get this one here, which is a 2x2x2, and then you get the original large one, which, as you see now, is it looks a little different. It's got the port in the front, and this one now has, as you can see, 150,000 hydrogen. This one's 75. This one's 25, and then the little one used to be 10. So this ship should have more than enough hydrogen capacity. I have a teleporter, I have a shield, terminals, all the usual, some storage, a beacon. What else? Oh, got some capacitors. I've got some extra capacitors in there. Got some storage, and a teleporter. So this one you won't be able to do any mining with it. Obviously, there's no mining capability or anything. You will be able to put out defense drones and so on if you need to. Actually, now in hindsight, really this is going to be kind of useless because we're not going to be sitting in one spot mining or anything. So yeah, I probably could do without that. You could do recycling if you come across a crashed or destroyed ship or station or something. You'll see some stuff. And then if you look at the outside, I just kind of made it. Gave it a little bit of a, I don't know, it doesn't look that great. It actually looks kind of silly, but I wanted to make it better than just a regular, just a little ship. But, I mean, it has some interest, has a fair amount of solar power, which is always useful, and some engines. And I typically put cowling around this. I haven't even finished off that. I just wanted a ship that at least, there wasn't just a box, and would be interesting enough, and would provide a little bit of a challenge because we need to get the resources we have up here. Now, if we go back out, if you go to the build menu, and we go and find this guy, there we go. Up here it'll tell you what you need. So currently we have, well, nothing, and we need all of, so that's what we need. So we need to get 50,000 iron and 12,000 copper, and then some silicone, which hopefully we'll be able to buy, because I don't, typically you can't mine that right here at the station, and then we'll have to make 3,200 steel. So I keep doing that. It's like I have to escape to get out of that thing. So first things first, we can go and have a look at the Galactic Trade. Now, if you look at your tab, you start out with 750,000 credits. Oh, just in case you didn't see, that's down here in the corner. It gives you how much money you have. And then over here you can see you can buy, and unfortunately, well, no, actually, it tells you that if there's 53,000 of that, copper, etc., etc., there's ingots and all that. So we'll be able to actually buy some stuff. There is some silicone here and some silicone bars. So we might actually be able to buy silicone, even steel. Potentially we could maybe buy all of this, but what I'd like to do is go and show you kind of how to go through the process of doing this. Now, something else you'll notice, I started out with some hydrogen, some oxygen. If you start out with some of the other factions, you get different things. Now, obviously we want to be able to run some missions. That's our goal here. So that's why we have that ship that can carry some cargo and can transport the cargo back to a station and so on. So we won't be mining, obviously. So, how do you do mining? So these, this is the Hurl's starting station. Each of them have different things. This one has kind of this large mining hole, which, in my opinion, is not exactly that well laid out. We'll do what we can. You see, you have a vault over here as well. You've got some storage. You've got some cargo teleporters. You have obviously you've got these extractors, 3 of them, and you've got a couple of refineries. So you have everything you need to be able to, you know, do what you need basically. So first thing we're going to do is, so this thing is the extractor. So this is it's not actually that large. You can fit it on a small ship. As you can tell, it is the actual module is 3 blocks by 2 blocks wide by 2 blocks high. So this little ship that we're trying to build actually could easily fit one of these in, and then the refinery is again 2 by 3, and I think it's 3 tall. You can see that back piece is kind of tall, so you need a slightly taller ship for that one. But one thing we will do later is we'll actually come into here and we'll put in some cartridges. And then you can actually you can upgrade, and you're able to automate this, which makes this process just so much easier. It's not even funny. But for now, we're just going to do something like this. So you can see there we have a certain amount of iron ore, copper ore, and carbon. And then we'll click on mine, and you see it actually grabs in that little asteroid and it starts processing away. And actually the animation is pretty cool. You can see there it puts out a container. This one happens to have some carbon, which we will actually need to make some steel. You need iron and carbon to make steel. And there you can see it's going to be putting everything on here. We can gather up and put it in the refinery. Waiting for this to finish, and I'll run over and start the other 2 as well, and I'll just keep running back and forth. And seeing as I'm alone on the server, single player, I don't really have to be concerned about, you know, some pesky player coming in and taking my stuff. Oh, there we go. See, now that's done. So now it's created almost 1 cargo pad full of items. And as you can see there, oh, there. Okay, good. And I can start the next one. And so now I can go here, I can grab everything, and so I can like kind of use this here, put that over there, put that there. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting all of the unfinished, you see these on full stacks, putting them there, and I'll fill them up in a little bit. And then here, I just press 1, which will give me the first one, and then I press E, and I can fill them all up. And there I can make 2400 iron. So I can go and do the same thing right now. Run over here, just, you know, pick another one which has stuff in that I need, and do the same thing, rinse and repeat. It's nothing too complicated. It is just rather tedious, obviously. Just had it. There you go. Because you gotta do everything manually. You gotta run around. Later on, you'll do you'll use actors, which is a device that'll move things around for you, and you will. So you'll get to that later. It actually gets to be a lot easier. So now I can just do that, and oh, I actually did it too quickly. It tells you combine. You'll see that. I'm actually going to use this one for my completed stacks of items that I don't want to use right now. And I'm just using my mouse wheel right now, and you can see I'm kind of scrolling through. So I'm putting incomplete stacks down here. You don't have to, but it does make it a little bit easier. And then I can fill this thing up. I can grab all the iron that has been processed and process the copper maybe. And then over here I can go ahead and put all that copper down. I can actually go and stick the copper in the vault as well, because I'm ultimately just going to be building a ship. So okay, you can see there I've got everything. So this is kind of it. So I'm just scrolling with the mouse. So now you can see here it says combine, and you see in my inventory now I have one which is 376, another one that's 205. I click on combine, and you see now I've got one which is 581. I can put it back. Same thing here. You know, you can do this. You can grab it, put it back, and the rest are all full stacks. So that's great. I can go back here, and I can fill this thing up. You see now it's full. I can go back over here. Now normally what you would obviously be able to automate this. So you would just put this in, and the refinery will automatically start buzzing away and doing its thing. So I can do this, process that, and done. And I'm over here, and I can start and grab this guy and go put it on my. Well, actually, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in the vault again. I make sure I can say depositing into my personal vault, and I can go here. I can see I have 1200, and I can go and grab that. Actually, this I'm going to leave here because I need to make steel. Like all of this, I can go and grab, and there you go. And I can go and dump this in here. So, as you can tell, it's a lot of tedium. There's more stuff over there to go pick up and running back and forth. So initially, for the first part of your little adventure, until you create your own ship, and until you have set up you know, all the automation with actors and with cartridges, automation cartridges, it's kind of a I mean, a requirement. I mean, you really cannot. Well, I don't think you can without the automation and so on. It is just it's too tedious. You just I'm sorry. It just takes too long. It doesn't really. It's not effective enough. It's not efficient enough, I should say. So yeah, being able to do it with the automation is key. As you can see already, so okay, again I press 1 and I can dump them all in here. And you can see I've already got 9,000 iron and 1,200 copper. As you recall, the amounts that we do need still, so there's still quite a bit to be done. Let's grab this. So exactly what I'm doing right now would typically, like I said, be done by the actors, which is kind of cool. I'll put that back, and then those are full stacks. Again, that one I want to put over there. And just have to kind of be organized, I guess. You know, yeah, I can't do all that. So now I'm actually going to make sure is I'm putting only iron in here, so I can just get it going on iron, and just keep on doing this until I have enough. And obviously, again, like you can see, if you have more than one person doing this, you'll also find that to be a lot easier. And I can just do this. Okay, good. Another full stack. Because one person can run around grabbing things, the other can, like for instance, you like one person can man the refineries, the other person can man the extractors, and you can actually get a lot of this done really quickly. But obviously keep in mind, like right now, like I said, I'm just running around alone, and this is obviously taking its time. Oh, lucky now! Right now you can see there it's not moving anywhere because I already have. I think it could be 4 or maybe 5 in the output buffer for this thing. So it has to run and finish that. So there comes another one, and we get more coming out. You can see there it's counting down. So there goes another one. See, I'm getting a whole lot of copper in these types of systems. You saw the numbers, the ratios. You had a much smaller amount of copper versus iron. So let me just see that I finish everything here. It's still busy. Okay, good. Now, just one quick last thing, and then I'm just going to fast forward. Oh, I went too many. Actually wanted to do like this. I think you need, I don't remember, two to three or something. So I go here and pop this in here. And also one thing I want to point out is if you look at your grip tool by pressing the tab key, you'll get this up. You can look at the encyclopedia now, and it'll tell you, like for instance here you can see, so 1 carbon to 2 steel. So if you have, you know, get that ratio right, then you come here and you will see now it says 1500 steel. So what you want is you want, for every 2 of these, you want one of these. So in actual fact, what I should have done was that, because now I have, you know, 2 to 1, if you know what I mean. Yep, 2 to 1. I can do 1200 if I go, and that'll give me 1200 steel. So I can do some more still. Go over here, I can go and put in. So right now I have 1 more stack of carbon. So I can do that, and that'll give me steel. I can go put all of this in my vault, and you can see that that started to look a lot better. I've got some iron, I've got some steel, and it's all moving along. So I'm just going to keep doing this for a while, and then I'll come back. Obviously, I don't want to bore you with the whole process of picking everything up or doing everything, because I mean it's just the same thing, and you just keep doing it over and over until you're done. So I'll be back when I have enough to build the ship, and then we'll do that. And I'm back, and it wasn't that long, and actually ended up buying some of it. Obviously the silicone I bought, I actually ended up making enough steel, so I didn't have to buy any of that. I did buy some copper and iron, just because I was impatient. I needed to get this done. Now, so we got everything there. Selected it. You can see what it is. You go build. Come on. And there, ship constructed. So I was just editing the episode, and to my surprise, I found out that the video had kind of gotten stuck at one point, and then again at another point. And it turns out, actually, while I was recording, wonderful Windows notification messages, which always messes up your recording. But I think I had some old hard drives, and I had them in a RAID, and it seems like it was causing it. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Maybe I should move out of the way here. Okay. Oh, that's okay. It's just a random asteroid. What do you call that? Asteroid storm. So anyway, I actually, when I left there from the station, I actually ended up grabbing the hydrogen and oxygen that I had in the station, and I jumped over to the ship, which is this. Yay! Ta-da! I've shown you already, but I'll show you again, seeing as you haven't seen it. I turned the shield generator down to about half, and actually, at the time, so you press X and it'll bring up this view where you can see like some ship status and stuff. You can see like what cargo you have and, you know, stuff like that. But as my shield's at this like 500 and whatever, I apparently have sufficient solar panels, which, as you recall, I have quite a few on here. My hydrogen's not even going down, so that's great. I can sit here and I'm not chewing up hydrogen. I'm actually all good. Quick tour, I guess. So that's the cockpit. I have the shield generator, like, remember, like from the view we had. I mean, shield generator and teleporter. Sorry for the quick movement of the mouse. I put some oxygen in here, so that filled up everything nicely with oxygen. And we can go over here. We can see that the capacitors are fully charged. And now the batteries are fully charged. Initially, when I forgot about that actually. So these things will store, I don't know, like 2-something million power. And initially, I popped in here and my hydrogen was flying out. I'm like, oh no, I messed up something, but I forgot that it was just sucking it dry, putting it all into the batteries. So these batteries are now fully charged. These capacitors will get charged from the batteries, and they will get used when you warp. And they kind of work well. You know, it does everything it needs to do. As you well know, that side is exactly the same. These are just the hacking stations in case you want to do something nefarious or defend against. Skrill will hack you, pirates will hack you. And then this is a little cargo room. As you can tell, we've got some more capacitors out here, some small ones, and our teleporter and so on. And oh yeah, the ceiling. So that I believe is the industrial, and this is the deco, I think, ceiling light. There's not that many options. There's only a, I don't know, handful. And also one thing I actually wanted to note when I was showing the ship, I forgot to do that, which I might have wrong here. I kind of do have wrong here. But if you look at this, you obviously you get this little display here. You can see all of your what's on there. Keep that in mind, because if you place these incorrectly, that display will sit over there, and it'll be hard to read. You obviously want them all facing forward, which really this one should be facing forward. I'll have to flip that around. Same with this one, but everything else is faced in the correct direction. So these are little things when you come into your ship. Also note things like lights, making sure that there's sufficient light. You see I've got some of these. These are like wall lights, so you can put lights on the wall, you can put lights on the ceiling, and then you can add lights like these. There's various little lights. I like these little ones because they kind of fit in nicely, and they don't don't block you that much. So one last thing I wanted to show you, which I had done with the last video when I was recording everything, is just how to fly this thing basically. So I actually flew to this station just to show you. Turns out, well, like I said, the recording went bad. If I look here, I'm trying to. There it is. So over there is the HSC Industrial Complex, which is the hurls starting. Now, if you look at this display, you will also notice it's kind of hard to see right now. There's lots of other things there, but there's actually a little diamond in the middle of all of that, which is the display for the starter systems, the starter home stations, I should say. Now, something I did show last time as well. If you right click, you can move your mouse around. If you press C, it'll bring it back to the center like it just did. So if you move down here, you can actually go ahead and you can have a look at the advanced stats. It'll show you this kind of a graph of power usage and so on, and then you'll use this to debug any issues that you might be having. But now there, I'm actually going to move it forward again so I can see where I'm going. And if you look here, you can see the hydrogen output, solar, you're seeing how much battery output and cells stored, available, etc. And then you can see here that right now the devices on the system are draining 38, and I'm obviously producing 44 from solar. And hydrogen, other than nuclear, hydrogen will only produce power when needed. So that's great. As you can tell, I can produce 542 plus the 1800 from the batteries as long as they're not drained. And I'm storing 9 million right now. That's what I was trying to say. You can store a whole heck of a lot. And like I said, then there's no deficit. So that's good. So now if I warp, you can either press this warp button and click on engage, or you can press the J key and it'll pop you in there right away. Alright, so now I'm in warp 1, and you'll see that you can see it kind of dropping down this number here. So if I press again, you'll see it didn't go down that much. I probably have way too many capacitors. I could actually get rid of some if I needed to. Oh yeah, plenty. I'm only using like if I go up to like 140, I'm using like that. But if I bump it right away, I mean I can warp. Look at that. I can, without actually having to click that hard, I can go really fast. And as you can see, I'm going warp 8 and warp 9. It's probably now it fell back. So something else to note, I'm going to press C here to go to the center again. You'll see it says here gravitational influence, and you have this yellow little thing there. There's probably a planet up there somewhere that I can't see. Oh, I think this will show you where it is. So yeah, it looks like directly over there there's a planet or something that is having gravitational influence on us. And what that ends up doing obviously is you can't go as fast. Now, quick note here, you'll see that we have 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and click. Okay, that one, it did automatically for me, because there's gravitational influence, but always be careful. When you see a little arrow, you might want to just downshift, as it were, go down. So that's W and S, by the way, is the shortcut keys for W for going up one warp level, S for going down 1 warp level. Oops, accidentally went down. From warp 4 down, it will no longer automatically do it. Oh, there, see, that's what happens. So you notice that it didn't gear down, and we actually overshot by 5 million meters. It's really easy to overshoot. So that's something to keep in mind, is always watch that and make sure that you've got that under control. Right now I am 5.36 million meters away, so I can pump it up one. You see the little up arrow, it's telling me I can go up. It's a minute, it's 11 seconds, and I could probably bump it up one more right now, but then it's going to run through those seconds really quickly. And so now you can see, get to the 3, 2, I'm gearing down. Now we're in kilometers, getting really close. I'm going to probably gear down here in a little bit. See there, click down, and keep coming down even more. And now the last bit, just kind of try to time it, kind of watch the numbers and try to time it to be relatively close. You probably don't want to be too close, and I normally aim off to the side a little bit. When you start warp, try to be at speed 0, because it'll kind of keep your speed. And there you go. Now I'm at 1.48. I can move forward. You see this guy can go 137, which is respectable. Pressing X will stop you, and you just have to be within 1,000 meters of the station to do whatever you need to do. But you can go ramming into the station, especially small ship like this. You can wipe out your shields really quickly. You can ram into other ships around you. Obviously these things are going to come and run into you. Now, one last quick little thing. So you see I have my shields currently at about, a half or whatever. It's important to note that if you leave your ship out here, especially on a single player, it doesn't matter. Once you exit, you're out. But if you are on a multiplayer server, the best way to do this is go back, hop back to the station, and I really hope this recording worked. Over here, there's this thing called a storage run. Now, actually, I'll go back. So you could store, repair, and purchase. There's some standard ships you can repair. Not all stations will give you that option, or will give you ships to purchase. But if I had taken damage from scroll or something, I can actually repair that here, which is useful. Or I can store the ship, and if I do that, boom, I get this little notification message, and now my ship is not outside anymore. It's inside the storage run, which generally is safer. Sometimes this is an early access game, so sometimes you might lose it, but the most part so far, with some admin commands, we're able to actually get the ships back again. So that's not a big deal. So if you like this, please go ahead and click the like button. Please comment on what you'd like, what else you'd like to see, what other additional things you'd like, about Interstellar Rift, or potentially other games you'd like to see as well. Obviously, maybe I said that already. I'm getting old, so I tend to repeat myself. So I'm not sure that's to do with age, but maybe just not attentive. But then, I guess that's all there is, and I'll catch you next time. So, as always, thanks for watching.